How much money do you make in 1 month in Singapore?
About 1,008 1 month. I'm actually a chef.
Monthly around 850 to 900.
What kind of work do you do?
Plumbing job.
1.9k. I'm a draftman in a drafting company, so I'm a contractor.
I'm not working now.
And how much were you making back then?
About annually about 70 to 80k.
No, I cannot tell you that.
No problem. No problem. And can we maybe just ask what you do for a living?
Medical dosimetrist.
Okay.
So I plan someone's radiotherapy treatment.
I'm jobless and I'm retired because I don't have any income at all. So
What did you do for a living before retirement?
I was in the food and beverage. I was the restaurant manager, GM. Yeah.
I work here as a domestic helper, so I earn like $800 a month. I've been doing this work for 5 years, almost 6 years.
So Singapore is considered one of the richest countries in the world. Do you believe in this after living here for 5 or 6 years?
Yes, I think.
And why do you say so?
Singapore is like a first world country in Asia.
I think it's really hard to living here. Maybe the PR Singapore citizens can be too easy to living here. Workers cannot easy to live here.
You have still people who are not rich, people who are still struggling here. I mean, like me, it's just day by day, people have the conception that Singapore is very rich, everyone is very rich, but in fact it's not.
And where do you think that stereotype really comes from about Singapore being this rich country?
Through medias, social medias, and our Prime Minister is highest paid in the world, So people have that concept that we are Singaporeans are very rich.
I think it's just because of crazy rich Asians and the like. That's why people think that Singapore is rich. But actually, maybe 70% of the population are just the regular people on the streets.
So then let's get straight to the point. Do you think you're rich?
No, I'm not.
Why don't you think so that you're not rich?
Because I still have to support my family. Then my family is not really rich, so I quite a bit. I come to a poor family, but I still have to support. Then I still have a girlfriend right now, so yeah, I still try my best to have rich.
Here in Singapore, no.
Why do you say so?
Because my wage is like 1,000 below. That's why it's not enough if I live here.
For me, I got enough, eating enough, money little bit also for me enough. I rich. I never ask for something, eat or money from people. That's why I think myself rich.
I don't feel like I'm rich.
Oh, okay. Why do you say so?
It's hard to survive. I mean, I feel like the struggles of living in Singapore, it's real, especially in the last 2 years, pertaining to the cost of living. I'm scared to be sick in Singapore actually, because I don't feel like I have enough to pay for my medical bills should I be stricken with a serious illness. Fundamentally, I don't even feel like I have enough to grow old comfortably in Singapore. So I wouldn't even label myself as middle class. Don't talk about being rich.
I don't feel rich, but
Why not?
But I believe that I have a lifestyle that I'm happy to live. But and I think being rich is not about like how much money you make, but what kind of meaning you get in life. Like what kind are you living in a meaningful life? That's the questions that we should think of lah. Because money, end of the day, is just a number.
I think I'm rich.
And why are you rich?
I have what I need and what I want.
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know, because like whenever I want to buy things, I have to consider twice. Not like I want this, then I just buy.
So when you're walking around in Singapore, can you tell apart rich people and regular people here?
I think from the way that we dress, we can actually kind of tell.
Well, you can see some of them are staying in, the big, nice big houses, driving, sports car, luxury, going out to a fancy restaurant and all that. Of course, there's some that really just on a low key, who dress very simple,
What does it mean to be rich in Singapore?
You can afford to have a house, a car, and luxury stuff.
If you have been to like Conrad Hotel, you've seen Lambos parking everywhere. From what I learned previously, I believe there is a net asset value of $2 million. If you are above that $2 million value, you are considered rich. You have a maid taking care of your children, or you have a family itself. I believe that itself is considered rich.
Being rich in Singapore would mean earning to a level that exceeds the pace of inflation, I would say.
Is there a specific number that you would place for what would be above inflation?
No, I wouldn't have a number for this because these numbers are out of my imagination.
Designer bags and things like, I think maybe regular people have like one or two, but then rich people have like a whole room of designer bags and things.
So then let's put a scenario. If you were really, really rich, what would be the thing that you would want to spend on? And you have an unlimited budget.
I think I want to travel the world.
Why do you want to travel the world?
I think it's fun.
I would love to go Australia to to spend with my girlfriend there and do some honeymoon there for our wedding. Yeah.
I like to donate some of my money to poor organizations, if you see in the world right now, the world is changing right now and it's a lot of poverty going around, but people don't realize, like Gaza and all that. If you look at it, the children, everybody's suffering there, So the world is totally different right now and you should give some to the poor people,
For me, I think help people. I see people, maybe if no $10, $2, $1, I will give.
Go home, and have a business like back home.
And where is home for you?
I'm from Philippines. The currency, when I convert to my country, it's high. It's very high. So I can afford to buy a house.
How expensive is the average house here in Singapore?
To be honest, I think it does depend on what area you're looking at and what size and what type of property. But just based on what my peers or my friends were looking at previously, easily something that your ideal house in an ideal location could easily cost $1 million.
I stay 3 rooms because last time I buy very cheap here, first owner here only.
How much?
40 something aja.
40,000.
Yeah.
Tahun berapa? Like what year?
I think 40 over years.
So 40 years ago, about $40,000 to buy the house. But now,
300 something.
wow.
Sell 300 something.
It depends. Maybe a condo is like 1.2 million. HDB can cost like 600, 700,000. Yeah.
What about the really expensive houses in those exclusive neighborhoods? How expensive can those be?
I'm not sure. Maybe like 3-4 million.
Previously, I've been a Grab rider. I have visited in richest places before. So their security, I would say, is very tight. Whenever you enter the house, you will need to call the owner on their phone for them to pick up your order. The places I've been to is like crazy. Some of the places I've been to crazy is that they have swimming pools, they have gyms, like everything in one area. Then they have dining places. They have like caters. They have like stores open up for them to serve like buffets and stuff. That's like something crazy that I've been to.
Do you think you can afford to buy a house here?
My plans is to not get a house here. I would say overseas is much more realistic.
Have you ever thought of living elsewhere if that could mean that your money is worth a lot more in those countries?
Oh yeah, I would, definitely. I would. I love my country. it's a safe country, but Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, yeah, I wouldn't mind living in Indonesia anyways.
Indonesia.
Why Indonesia?
Because the cost of the living is very cheap.
How much is a house in Indonesia?
House in Indonesia for a three room with 125 meter square is gonna cost me around 90,000 Sing dollar, negotiable.
And a house here in Singapore, how much?
That is gonna cost me at least 1.5.
For now, no, I think Singapore is okay for me. It's a good way. I earn here also to send back home.
And about how much money do you have to send back home each month?
Half of my salary.
And with that half of the salary, what does it help pay for?
For house rent in Philippines, house rent, studies like that, and groceries, foods.
What is the goal for you while you're here in Singapore?
My goal is becoming my family come to good position and make mother happy. That's all.
So every month do you send money back home?
Yeah, every month.
How much do you give to your family back at home?
I think 500 to 600.
So in order for you to feel rich, how much do you think you need to make per month?
About at least 3,000 plus now.
Maybe at least 10,000.
And is it realistic to make $10,000 here in Singapore?
I think maybe if you graduate from uni, then yeah. If poly, diploma, maybe not. You didn't score well enough to go into a uni, then you have to go into private uni, which is quite expensive also. So like, it's technically saying like the rich gets richer, something like that.
I would say 5K. 5K is more than enough.
Do you know a lot of people that actually have made that much amount of money?
Based on my experience, my colleagues and staff, yeah, they can reach 5K. They can reach 5 to 6K. It's possible.
8,000 to 10,000 at least a month.
And do you think it's possible to make that money in Singapore?
It is possible, but the stress level is ridiculous, and I do not, personal opinion, I do not want to get myself to be ridiculous in that situation. So I want to see the mountains, I want to see the sea.
Do you think it's possible to work your way to become rich in Singapore? Why not?
I think we are just worker only. Yearly, maybe $3, $5 can your salary can up. Then you think now $25, then next year 30 and next year 35. Almost my permit also here finished. I think 2,000 also cannot earn working people from the work permit.
I have heard stories that people who have been climbing the corporate ladder and they have been working very, very hard. By the end of the day, they just get sacked for some reason and they have to start from the scratch. So I think the main reason is because that not everyone have the right mindset to wake up every day and do what they want to do. Just imagine a person who works 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, versus a person who work Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, they're also doing things. They're also doing like some sites like maybe street performance, busking, or like doing research, reading up newspapers on finding out what's the best next jobs they want to do, or maybe start a new invention themselves. If you are willing to spend the extra 1 or 2 days, you will get far in the future.
For me, it's not possible. Here in Singapore, for us, it's very hard to uplift ourselves because we came here as a domestic helper. In our contract, that's the only work that we need to do. That's the only job.
What do you want to say to those outside of Singapore that think every single Singaporean is very rich?
Not every Singaporean are all rich like that, but they are hardworking. That's why they can maintain their lifestyles like that.
To earn 3,000 or 2,000 is still not enough to survive here, especially now the high cost of living is going up and all that. the only thing that is not going up is the pay is not going up. So people are struggling and people are working, very hard, to survive. The new generation right now, it's difficult for them, especially right now, when they get married and try to buy a house, and of course, you have to borrow money from the bank, that's where you start owing money, and things like that. So to coop up, to work day and night just to, so it's pretty hard right now, I would say. Don't have that conception that we are Singaporeans are all are rich anyway. That's what I want to tell the people anyway. Every country has the poor and the rich. So yeah.
Thank you so much for today. That's all I have for you. I really appreciate it,
Thank you
Timmy.
for the interview anyway.
Thank you.
Bye.